Shalom. Hope everybody's doing doing good. I got a quick one for you. Something that I find very interesting, in considering the times that we're living in. In the book of Matthew, chapter 15, reading from the King James Version, it says, "Then came to Yeshua the scribes and the Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But Yeshua answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandments of Elohim by your tradition?" Now drop down to the latter part of verse 6. It says, Thus ye have made the commandments of Elohim ineffective by your tradition. You hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but the heart is far from me. Listen, but in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Let me ask you a question. Our tradition that we've had in Christianity, did it contradict the commandments? Did it go against the way the Father wanted us to live? Did it contradict the way He instructed us to worship Him? I'll answer that for you. It absolutely did. And when we come to that knowledge of truth, and if we don't make a change to get it right, to walk uprightly before Him, then we worship Him in vain. Then, as I listen, this is not me. This is what Isaiah said. He called them hypocrites. It's when you know to worship the Father in the way He wants you to worship, but yet you refuse it. You refuse to adhere to His instructions, but yet you confess that you know Him. His word calls you a hypocrite. You worship Him in vain. We worship Him in vain when we don't follow His instructions. And know, when I said we, that includes me. When we don't follow His instructions and how He wants us to worship Him, then we worship Him in vain. He does not receive our worship. And when we make up our own commandments of what's right and what's wrong, and don't adhere to His commandments, then we become a false doctrine. We become a false movement, a false teacher. And He has nothing to do with that. He has nothing to do with those who will not adhere or follow His instructions. And that's what a lot of the pastors need to get a hold of today. There is a particular way that the Father wants us to worship Him. He wants us to worship Him in spirit and truth. And when you will not follow His instructions, then in His eyes, you worship Him in vain. Just my thoughts for today. Something I wanted to share with you. I hope it's a blessing. And listen, till next time, be safe, be blessed, and shalom.